Hello! So I watch a lot of movies. Some of them are really good and some of them are really bad. And this is a movie I was expecting to be very bad and was in fact just great. I am talking about Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's one of those movies that shouldn't really work, but it just does, because everyone was giving it their best shot. So I'm going to go over a few of the things I really liked in the film. I guess this will be like the reverse of that Guardians review I did, where I was just talking about how everything was terrible. I'm going to talk about how everything's just good in this film. I guess I'll give you like a basic plot rundown. Some clowns from space come to Earth and their spaceship looks like a tent, and they just start like killing people in clown ways. Clown themed murder. So yeah, the clowns land, these two like teenagers see it and they go, we should go see what that was. So they go over and they find the tent. They go inside the tent and find some dead people wrapped up in like candy floss. Then they try to get out of there, clowns chase them, they escape, and then the clowns come out and start terrorizing the town. That's the basic premise of the film. One of the things I really like about the movie is, in a standard film, you got two characters who are like romantic rivals, and this film kind of has that, and then it drops it because it doesn't matter, which is great. So our three protagonists are Mike, played by this guy who looks exactly like Chris Pine but from the 80s, Debbie, and Dave. So Mike and Debbie are dating. Dave is Debbie's ex-boyfriend, but he's a policeman, so they need his help. And in like a regular movie, you would have them like fighting the whole time, being mean to each other, and constantly trying to be like macho men. But in this film, there's like a little bit of that at the start, but then they realise that there are murder clowns about, and they just drop it. They're like, okay, we're friends now, we need to save the town. You'd expect the movie to like take the side of one of the two guys to end up with the girl at the end, and they don't do that. And I was wondering, like, we were getting closer and closer to the end of the film, and I was like, how are they going to resolve this? We like both these characters. Like, the obvious thing to do is have one make a heroic sacrifice, which they almost do, and then he survives. So they don't do that. At the end of the film, it just seems like the three of them are in like a polyamorous relationship, which is cool. They're trying to run away at the end and they're all like holding hands and they're like looking out for each other. It's lovely. More of this in movies. Dump the romance subplots, we don't need them. So this is a movie from the 80s, and a lot of 80s movies look really dated, and like you can tell it's the 80s, but barely anything in the movie actually looks bad, because they use practical effects the whole time. The movie's made by the Chiodo brothers. I think they're like special effects experts. Like, they've done puppet work for other movies and like other special effects team stuff, which I think is why I like the movie a lot. So early on, when Mike and Debbie are exploring the spaceship, they enter this room, this like big generator room, and it's like a painting, it's like a matte painting, and it looks really good. Obviously they couldn't make a giant generator set to film in for like 10 seconds. It was 1988, so they couldn't do CGI or anything, which would have aged horribly. So they do a big matte painting, and it looked great. I don't know if anyone else cares about this stuff, but it just looks, it still looks good 30 years later. All the clowns are in like rubber costumes, and they are genuinely quite creepy and frightening. It's just like, if they were making a film in like the early 2000s, they would have CGI'd all this stuff, and then 10 years later it would have looked terrible. Because it's all real effects, it looks really good. Like the bit where one of the clowns just punches a dude's head straight off. They have like a prosthetic head that just like flies into a bin. It's great. Also, in that scene, take a look at this dude who looks exactly like Macklemore. Macklemore's in the film. The movie's called Killer Klowns from Outer Space. If you're gonna make a film about murderous clowns, you gotta go all in on the clown stuff, and they do. So we've got all the clown staples here. There's a moment in the movie where a car pulls up and one of the clowns gets out. The moment I saw it, I knew what they were doing. And the clown gets out the car, then there's like this security guy looking on, and then just another clown gets out, and another one, and they only do it for like 5 clowns. For me, that scene could have gone on for like a minute, and they just like hundreds of clowns get out of the car, and then they all like chuck custard pies at this dude, but they're like acid custard pies or something, and he melts. It's great. The main way the clowns get you is they shoot you with a gun that turns you into like candy floss. I think that was a bit overused, but it's mostly fine. That's a clown thing. The most genuinely creepy moment in the movie, the clowns murder one of the other police officers, and he comes into the office, and the clown's there, and he like uses the other police officer as like a ventriloquist dummy, and he's like, "Don't worry, Dave, we only want to kill you." And it's like, whoa, it's obviously not scary because this whole film is ridiculous, but like, that's a creepy thing. And then the dude like just pulls his hand out of this dude's arse. Oh, this one's great. The clowns shoot a popcorn gun at Mike and Debbie while they're running out of the circus tent, and they get like all this popcorn stuck to them. And I was like, that's weird. That doesn't do anything. And then the clowns, they like make a balloon animal dog, and then the dog like sniffs out the trail. It's great. But yeah, all the clown stuff is so good. I actually got this balloon modelling kit a while ago, and I hadn't planned on doing this, but I just mentioned balloon dogs. I think I could probably make a balloon dog on video right now. What colour do you want? I'm thinking like blue, maybe. I've got instructions for a dog or a poodle. The poodle looks a bit more difficult. I'm not feeling too ambitious about my balloon modelling skills. This video's taking a turn I didn't expect. You gotta leave a bit of air. Oh gosh. You gotta leave a bit at the end to leave you some space to push the balloon about a bit. Pro balloon strats. This is gonna make that horrible squeaky balloon noise, so I'm sorry. Right, so I need to do it into 10 sections. I hate the noise, it's so bad. 3. These ones need to all be about the same. Like, I'm gonna run out of balloon, aren't I? Oh god, yeah, I don't have enough balloon yet left. 6. These last ones are gonna have to be really small. 8. Right, so that's the first step done. You make it look like a load of sausages, and then you just like twist it all about. But you don't want to let the sausages like undo themselves. So here's the first twist. This is gonna be the face. And then we do these ones together. Or it's gonna be a bit of a sausage dog. It's got tiny little legs. Its face is bigger than like the rest of its body. This is fine. All this footage is gonna be unusable because it's so loud. And then like this. Oh, bugger. Oh, it's cute actually. Look. Oh, that went really well. He's got a very large head and long neck. But there you go. There he is. That's Ian. I guess I need to talk about the movie again now. A thing about the movie that made me like immediately into it, it's got its own theme song. Like, you know how in the 90s, all the Will Smith movies, like he sang a song for them. Like Men in Black had a Will Smith song, and Wild Wild West, they had songs where they say the title of the film in them. This movie has a song where they say Killer Klowns from Outer Space in the song, and it's great. It's so good. More films need songs for them. I'll be honest, making the balloon animal in the middle of the video just kind of threw me right off, and now I don't know what to talk about. I thought it was a good idea at the time. So for the whole film, they don't like explain where the clowns have come from. They just sort of like appear. They like come in like a comet and land in a field. And there's a moment later on in the film where we've got our heroes, Dave and Mike, and there's two other guys with them. They're not really important, so I've not mentioned them. They're like brothers and they own an ice cream truck. Kind of like the worst part of the film. But they're all discussing, hey, where do you think these clowns came from? Maybe their home planet got destroyed and they're looking for somewhere else. And then one of them's like, oh, maybe they're just like stopping off to get something to eat. Like humans, they eat humans. And then Dave's like, it don't really matter though, does it? Like, we just need to save our friends and get out of here. Which is fine. Like, I don't need it explained why they're here. They're nasty clown aliens. I don't care where they're from. Maybe if there's a sequel, they can tell us all about the clown's home planet. They go onto the clown spaceship to like save everyone, and they just fail. They get Debbie because she's the one character we know. And then they have to escape because the clowns come to try and get them, and they just like leave everyone else behind. They all get off the clown tent spaceship, and then it goes up and it explodes. It's like, oh, literally everyone in town was on there, and now they're all dead. I think that's it. I kind of derailed my own video like by making balloon animals. I guess that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye. I can do you a poodle, the dog, which I've already done, an alligator, a butterfly, a sword, or a funny hat. I guess leave in the comments if you want me to become a balloon modelling channel. I'm not sure there's a lot of demand for that.